Hi, this is Zach Meir with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Vox Markets for Thursday, the 5th of May. Starting off with Argos Resources, where it looks like we're making decent progress after the big turnaround which we had with the break of that falling wedge back in December. Good price action, with mostly above the 50-day moving average. That's currently around the 2.35 pence level. I'm just going to break that resistance line there from back in February last year. Above that at 4p, looking for 5.5 or even 6p. Possibly as soon as the end of this month. 50 and 200-day moving averages both rising, providing decent momentum. On to a stock which has described itself as energized this morning, Argo blockchain. Here it looks like we're just breaking that line of resistance there from back in September last year. We've had so this is the third attempt, so let's see if it's third time lucky. We've got a bullish divergence line here in the RSI window as well, which should provide momentum and take the shares back up to 90 pence while they hold above the 60 pence area. If you're cautious, maybe just wait for a proper clearance of 68, 69 pence, something like that, to get things going. But it looks as though with that bullish divergence line, which is a leading indicator, normally the shares are ready to head higher, at least to the top of the post-February range. Stock which is getting a bit of Twitter attention at the moment is Barron Oil. Obviously not the greatest of stocks to chart, given how spiky the price action is. But the overall pattern here looks as though we've got a resistance line projection from back in September 2020. That's heading for 0.15, and the longer we hold above the 0.07 area, which is effectively that resistance line there from April last year, the greater the chance of a breakout through 0.09 and then heading up towards 0.15. Over the next couple of months. We had a little bear trap in the last week as well, so that's normally a good indication that the stock is ready to break out. And the candles of the last couple of days and the rising 50 and 200-day moving averages, which look like they're heading into a golden cross, also positives for the stock at the moment, but obviously not for everyone, given the micro share price that the company has at the moment. On to Goldplat, which updated today, and here we've had a gap to the upside. What's interesting here, I suppose, is the way that we've got this rather ragged saucer pattern here, a nice little handle there at 8 pence, and above 8 pence, looking for the shares to break out, hopefully quite significantly. There's a resistance line there from back at the beginning of 2020, heading for as high as 14 pence, and we could see that over the next couple of months. That would be quite a prize indeed if the shares moved off from just now and broke out towards that target over the near term. Stop loss probably back below 7 pence is more than generous on a mid-price close basis. i-nexus is next, and here we've got a situation where the shares have tried to consolidate at the lower levels. We've had a bear trap below the old December support there. That was around 4.6 pence. And we've had consolidation over the last few sessions above that, which suggests we're in a sort of micro bull flag. Above 4 pence or 4.5 pence at least, looking for the resistance line at the top of that broadening triangle from September last year, as high as 7.5 pence, perhaps by the end of this month. Ideagen, which is sort of in a potential bid situation, had a nice little flip up today, bouncing off that uptrend line from March. The support there around £2.17, and an end of day close above the 50-day moving average at 2.27 today could suggest the shares are up towards £2.90 at the top of that February rising trend channel, but obviously a bit volatile and a bit of a perhaps a binary situation. Something to be wary of at the moment. It's good to see a bit of interest nibbling in mobile streams yesterday. Here we've got neckline resistance around 33 pence, so we want to see the shares above that level over the near term. Bear trap just over the end of April, just below the March support, so fractionally below that. That does suggest that we could be looking for a turnaround here. Above 33 pence, maybe up to 40 pence. For the stock, if we can get 33 on an end of day close basis. On to Mobility One, which is starting to shape up quite nicely. Here we've got a broadening triangle from back in October. We've had the sideways shuffle off the 50-day moving average over the last couple of weeks, something like that, after breaking that trend line last month. That trend line there, the falling wedge in place since November. The longer we stay above the 50-day line at just under 9 pence, the greater the chance of move towards 20 pence, maybe by the end of next month. The more price action we can have above 10 pence in the meantime, the better for the bull cause. Reabold is next, where I remember I've had quite an ambitious target here for the shares. Here we've had the bounce just above the floor of that rising trend channel from September versus sort of 0.31p, something like that. And at least while we're above the 50-day moving average, which is rising sharply at the moment at 0.35, looking for 0.65 by the end of next month. Today's start, a pretty good one in terms of the price action. We'd like to see an end-of-day close above 0.42, which was last month's resistance. Now on to Sabien again, which I think I covered quite recently, but looking exciting on the basis that we've just got the 50 and 200-day moving averages rising. We've bounced off that. This is a nice U-shaped bull flag, as I describe it, above the 200-day line at 24 pence. Looking for at least that resistance line there from September at 34 pence over the next couple of weeks. And the way things are going, maybe even sooner than that. Serenus is the next contender. There's some smart money in this stock looking for recovery. Last 3 sessions have been very useful. We've had a bounce off that RSI uptrend line. We've had a key reversal to the upside on Tuesday, and a unfilled gap to the upside yesterday. End of day close above yesterday's gap day, which was at 2.1 pence, would break that line of resistance from August and also open up the possibility of a move to 3 pence over the next 4 to 6 weeks, something along that kind of time frame. This stage only really back below the floor of the gap at 1.8 pence, really delaying the upside scenario. On to UKOG, which seems to have had some decent news today. We were tentatively looking for 0.18 before today's rather good announcement, but with that now at 0.18, looks as though it could be relatively easily hit over the next couple of weeks, something like that. Obviously, the company has a habit of raising money on strength, but perhaps it'll wait until 0.18 is hit before pressing that particular button, if it indeed does. Only back below recent support, 0.11 pence, really delaying the upside scenario, but probably one would even be surprised now if the shares went back below the 200-day moving average at 0.12. Finishing off with Woodbois, which has delivered some satisfaction today on the basis that the target that we were looking for at 9 pence has been hit rather easily with a gap, quite a flourish really through resistance. Gap through resistance tends to be a very welcome thing. We've also just about to probably have a golden cross between the 50 and 200-day moving averages over the next 24 hours, so that's looking pretty encouraging too. Above 9 pence in the top of that rising trend channel, looking for a target which is derived from this resistance line here up to 12 pence. That's from April 2020 rather. So above 9 looking for 12, and only back below the floor of the gap at 8, really delaying the 12 pence target. And also the way things are going, looks as though we can actually see much more than 12 pence. You could argue that there's a trend line there and trend line target there heading for as high as 15 or 16 pence by the end of next month, and the way things are going, by the end of this month. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.